Hello, Dancing with the Stars fans. I'm Gold Derby editor Daniel Montgomery here with Gold Derby contributors Jeffrey Kare and Cordell Martin. We are here to discuss the season 32 finale of Dancing with the Stars. But before that, of course, we're going to start this recap with a 30-minute clip show of scenes from our recaps of how we got to this point in the season. No, that's what Dancing with the Stars did. A 3-hour show started with a clip show. It wasn't bad. Like it was, it's what it is. It took a while to get to the actual dancing, but we did get to see, rewatch a couple of the memorable routines and hear the judges talk about what makes everybody a strong contender, and it was fine. What did you think, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I mean, it was just to save some time. Obviously, they had to fill in some time for a 3-hour show. So I didn't think it was too bad. I'm glad it was just a half hour, not an hour, because then I would have been really annoyed. But I thought it was fine just to kind of recap, especially for those who may have not watched the entire season throughout.
What did you think, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, I think it's obvious. It's clearly just, to fill out the half hour of the 3-hour duration. And I mean, even though I guess it was nice for, the show to start and the contestants didn't get to have a little more time to get ready. And, I guess it was a nice trip down memory lane for the season. But yeah, I'm glad it was a half hour instead of an hour because, yeesh. But yeah, I don't think it was really that necessary.
Yeah, like if it had been an hour, it would have been the feeling would have been like, well, we have a 2-hour finale with a clip show attached, so just give us the 2-hour finale. But yeah, after that we had our redemption dances, where the celebrities had to perform a new routine in a dance style that they previously performed, but maybe weren't so great in. And I did notice the judges were a little bit lenient when a celebrity not named Allison Hannigan made a mistake. So I was a little annoyed that they were still like 9s and 8s to her, but when Ariana kind of has a mistake, or a couple of mistakes, noticeable, visible mistakes on Azamba, Derek and Bruno are just like, didn't see it, nothing happened, 10, 10. What did you think about that, Cordell?
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me too. It was just like either you guys are just going to be happy and give everyone just top scores and let the votes, determine the results, or you're going to judge fairly across the board. To your point, I mean, the mistakes that Ariana made was very noticeable, and it happened multiple times throughout the routine. So I was like, you guys can at least give her a 9. Like, I understand she's one of your favorites, but to give her 2 10s, I was just like, I see you guys and what you're trying to do.
What did you think, Jeffrey?
Yeah, that was really weird. I guess, imagine if they did elimination last week and Allison did go home. I guess it would have been, oh, no criticism-free nights in the finale. But yeah, that just seemed a little harsh on Allison.
Yeah, and Allison's salsa was not perfect, but it was so obviously night and day improvement from her first attempt. So I was very happy that they gave her that opportunity to kind of strike that first salsa from the record and just kind of give her that moment of where she did every dance style pretty well. She was never one of the most technically proficient, but she did everything pretty well and increasingly well throughout the season, which was her really wonderful journey. I hope she continues to dance after this because she seems to just derive so much joy from it. What did you think of her salsa, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I think it was great to see her progression and just to see, her evolve as a dancer from week 1 to the final week of the competition. I think just the joy that she exuded week after week, I think really resonated obviously with the voters. So it was nice for her to truly redeem herself, kind of have that full circle moment. So I thought it was enjoyable and a great way for her to in her journey on Dance with Stars.
What did you think, Jeffrey?
Oh yeah, I thought she definitely probably had the best growth arc throughout the whole season. Going from where she was at the beginning of the season to really getting better and better week by week. And yeah, her redemption dance I thought was definitely provided such a burst of energy.
And then we had a couple of foxtrots that ended up being the only perfect dances on the redemption round, which is a little surprising. I kind of thought, everyone would just be perfect if they stood upright, and they almost were. Um, but these were the only two perfect dances. They were from Jason Mraz and Xochitl Gomez. And yeah, like I don't think they were among the best routines either of them has done on the show. But they didn't have any visible mistakes. Well, Sochi like maybe missed an arm when, one of those things, but it wasn't like she didn't bobble the footwork or anything like that. So I'll let that one slide. Like the judges did. What did you think about those two, Cordell?
Yeah, I mean, Sochi, we already knew it was going to be an amazing, perfect dance. Like, wasn't surprised by the result there. Jason, I think it really fit his personality. You can tell he was really enjoying this dance this time around, and really was just at ease. And I think the performance really, for me, kind of let me know that, hey, at least he's going to be the spoiler if Sochi wasn't able to pull it out. So I figured after that performance, it was going to be between him and Sochi at the end.
What did you think of them, Jeffrey?
Okay, well, not terribly surprising, which I'm probably going to use a lot regarding Xochitl during this discussion, but yeah, I thought she did an incredible redemption dance, while Jason I thought had pretty much had it all. It had class, it had elegance, and the whole thing was pretty glorious. So yeah, I was more than happy with how both their redemption dances turned out.
And yes, we will talk about more about Sochi inevitably, because nobody watching this, it's not a spoiler. She won the Mirrorball Trophy. We will get to that. Let's talk about Charity next. Her tango, which I think one of the things Karen and Abba told her, it's like she wanted to see more confidence in her, and also wanted to see the fire and the emotional intensity that a tango needs. I thought she delivered. I really think that rumba she had a week or two ago really was kind of that breakthrough moment where it's just like, okay, she was able to put it on the dance floor, and she did it when she needed it. What did you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I thought it was another strong dance from Charity. I thought she did a great job really getting into the character. I think that's been the one missing piece for her throughout the season that we've talked about consistently. So I thought she did a great job nailing that. Yeah, I thought she did a great job overall.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I thought the whole thing was excellent, from the choreography to the staging to the lighting, the footwork. Yeah, I just thought overall it was really a great redemption dance for her, and a great, I guess, second to last dance for her in the competition this season.
Yeah, and then we got the freestyles, which no rules, anything goes, dance styles, which are a test of really more than anything the pros' creativity as choreographers. Working with their celebrities to kind of find what fits their personality, fits their skill set, and also deliver something that's really actually just fun and entertaining to watch. So Charities, and what's interesting is that Charity's not the first Dancing with the Stars finalist with cheerleading experience, and yet I think this was the first time we've actually had that cheerleading brought into a freestyle, which I thought, oh, it's so obvious in hindsight that I can't believe no one else has done it. And it was such an explosive, obviously full of tricks, and lifts and throws and flips, and she totally nailed it. Even though in the clip package she almost broke her jaw on one move and then had to do it again during the live show. I thought that was one of maybe actually her crowning moment of the whole season, like a worthy freestyle, if ever there was one. What did you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I agree. I didn't know what to expect. But I thought she did a great job, especially just dancing to her strengths. I think oftentimes contestants get so caught up in trying to have like this wow and show-stopping freestyle that they forget to just go back to the basics as to, what skill sets that they have that they could bring to the table and show the audience a different side of them. So I think it was great for her to really showcase that. To your point, I thought it was energetic, full of energy. I felt like she just continued to keep up with the pace from start to finish. Um, I think what did her in was the dance order. I feel like if she would have danced a little later in the evening, she probably would have at least came in like third at best. But I think the dance order is what did her in terms of her.
Yeah, what did you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I can definitely see what Cordell's talking about with the dance order in the second round, but as for the performance itself, yeah, I thought everything about it, from the production values to the choreography, was very, very top notch. And while Charity may not have been the latest Bachelor alum to have won Dancing with the Stars, she at least was one of the better alums to have competed for the Len Goodman Mirrorball Trophy.
Yeah, and I think there's probably some bachelorette fatigue in the audience. Like, yeah, I can, even though she would have been one of the best, if not the best bachelorette who's competed on the show, it's like the idea of giving another bachelorette the Mirrorball Trophy in such a short span of time, seasons 28, 29, and 32 all have bachelorette winners. It's just like, no, we're
Yeah.
not doing that again. Um, it is a weird look that the only bachelorette to finish below second place in these seasons was the Black woman. I don't think that's necessarily conscious bias on the part of the audience, but it's a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a little shade at the audience. It's been since Amber Riley, since a Black woman has won Dancing with the Stars, and we see that pattern in other things too. It's like, the last Black woman to win the Grammy for Album of the Year was Lauryn Hill. So, like, it's not misogynoir is not unique to Dancing with the Stars. Um, but yeah, a great note to go out on for Charity, even though she ended up in fourth place. Then we had Jason Mraz freestyle, which I think might have had the most choreography any dancer has had in a single routine this season. Like he didn't have to go that hard. The other celebrities didn't try that hard, except for maybe Charity. Like, it felt like, they most of the other ones just kind of had fun, and his was just like, I'm gonna prove to you that I can dance every single dance, and including dances we didn't get. Like, I would have loved to see the Jason Mraz Charleston. We didn't get a Charleston this season. But yeah, that might have been my favorite of the freestyles. Just the energy of it, the amount of content in it was so ambitious. I respected the hell out of it. What did you think, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I think Jason and Charity's freestyles were like my two favorite routines of the night. To your point, I think especially having someone like Daniela, once again, kudos to her and just her amazing work with Jason and her other celebrities in the past. I think they did a great job at really just painting his arc in terms of, the confidence that he had to overcome to become its contestant on Dance with Stars, and, his journey throughout the show, and to really showcase that journey and the excitement that he had with Dance with Stars, and just the technicality and the difficulty of the dance. I mean, I was just like, wow, he's really, pulling all the stops to win this. And if it would have been a less competitive year, he probably would be the one holding the Mirrorball Trophy.
Mhm.
But kudos to him and Daniela for all their great work and the amazing routines that they had this season.
Yeah, this kind of 1-2 finish reminded me a little bit of like Jordan Fisher and Lindsey Sterling.
Yeah.
Like, Lindsey Sterling in another season might have walked away with it, but she had to be in the season with Jordan Fisher, and Jason
Yeah.
Mraz drew the season with Sochi. So it just, she had the Mirrorball Trophy from like week 3 or 4. What did you think of Jason's routine, Jeffrey?
Oh yeah, I thought it was very. I thought it had very inventive staging, and the whole routine was very lively. I especially loved the production values with the lighting and the costumes, as well as the backup dancers. But yeah, I thought this was definitely a great final note for Jason and Daniela to go out on.
And then we had Ariana. This was the first time we've seen a freestyle routine from Pasha Pashkov, her partner, the husband of Daniela Karagach, who now were the first married couple ever to make the finals together, and now the first married couple to be together in the top three. Even though neither won the Mirrorball Trophy, like that's still pretty amazing for them. I'd love to see that happen again because honestly, it wasn't the best freestyle, I don't think, but for a first freestyle, for him to present that, it's like is Pasha secretly a hip hop dancer? Like, does he have that spirit? Like, I was impressed that he kind of went for that. I was like thinking, okay, that's a side of him that I could stand to see in the future. What did you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I think Daniela probably told him like, "Hey, show that inner swag that you got." So it was cool to see that side of him. To your point, um, for Ariana's routine, I thought it was a solid routine. For me, I feel like at times she wasn't really just like hitting the music hard enough for me, especially if you're gonna do Beyonce and Sierra. But I thought it was fun routine. I thought it was a great way for her to kind of end on a happy note because she could have taken a dramatic and emotional route, especially with all the drama she went through this past summer. So it was good for her just to let her hair down, have a good time, and let loose. So,
What did you think, Jeffrey?
Well, okay, first I should add that I don't believe we talked about her redemption dance, which I thought for the most
We
part she did
talked a
best
little
she
bit
could.
about it, but
Okay.
you could talk more about it if you want.
Well, yeah, I thought for the most part she did the best she could with it. And as for her freestyle, I seem to have liked it just more than you guys did because I thought it was pretty killer, from the staging of it to her skills in the ballroom. And yeah, I thought this was, considering I guess I guess on rotten year she had early on to really just doing her best in the ballroom to making it to third place. Yeah, I think this was probably a good note for her to end her year on, especially how, literally the following morning she had to fly up to New York to appear on these talk shows to talk about her new book, as well as the recent announcement she's going into the Broadway production of Chicago. So hey, now I guess there's good things that are coming for her.
Yeah, she has managed to make to quote Beyonce, she's made lemonade out of those lemons. Yeah, good for her, and a good note to end on, finishing third for the competition. And then Allison Hannigan, who finished fifth in the competition, as I think most people expected, although I thought maybe her fan base could have gotten her to fourth or third, depending on how strong they were.
mhm.
Um, in the end, I think her fan base probably just wanted her to be there, and once they got her there, they're like, okay, seriously, let's give it to this person, this person, this person, for what they did, in the ballroom. But her freestyle was fun. It was, it was not the most complicated, obviously, but she got like Sasha gave her proper choreography to do. It wasn't just, her picking her up and spinning her around, but there was some of that, but it wasn't just that. There was actually some meat on that bone. And so I really appreciate Sasha for doing that and Allison for tackling it, in her own way. It was as ambitious as Jason's. So I definitely appreciate that, and nothing but love for Allison Hannigan, as always. What did you think of her, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I thought it was a great way for her to end on a high note. Definitely kudos to Sasha for really challenging her. It was just great just to see her confidence shine throughout the routine, especially when they danced to the Jennifer Lopez, and then she had like the rest of the pro dancers with her. I think she really came to light then. But yeah, I thought it was a great routine. To your point, just didn't know how she was going to end up in terms of what place, just because you never know. Sometimes the underdogs do win. Bobby Bones. So yeah, I didn't think she was going to win, but to your point, thought maybe third or fourth at best for her.
What did you think, Jeffrey?
Well, like you, Daniel, I really did appreciate the ambition of the routine, and I too thought it was, an exciting last dance for her. So hey, while she may not have, well, I mean, granted, she I guess made it farther than I guess all of us probably expected early on. But hey, the fact she made it to finals and generals, I think, is a win in and of itself. So yeah, I too am, for the most part, satisfied with her run on the show.
Yeah, and when they called her fifth, like just she couldn't have looked happier. Like she was just like, she knew this wasn't her mirror ball trophy, and she just wanted to go out there and finish the season, and she did so in really really admirable fashion. So I really loved that. And then we had Sochi closing the night. I think the judges and producers, all kind of knew what we knew. That like, yeah, it's probably her. So let's finish with her. Give her that closing routine in both rounds. Uh, so she closed the night. I don't have that much to say about her freestyle. Like it was good, but like again, on her level, it felt like it felt safe. It felt like, she could have challenged herself a little bit more, like Jason did, like Allison did, like Charity did. But it felt kind of more like a victory lap for her. I wouldn't put it in her top 5 routines because she's had some showstoppers throughout the season. It was worthy of the win, but just I wasn't as into it as I was kind of hoping to be. What do you think, Cordell?
I agree. To your point, I just felt like it was safe. I think she would have did a better job if they just told like a story like they did with her waltz. I think that was beautiful, and how Val choreographed that routine for her. So I was kind of expecting something along those lines. Um, yeah, I mean, I think by then they kind of knew they had a great shot at winning the mirror ball. So I think for them it was just about like having fun, letting loose, and not get stressed out about having the perfect freestyle, because I think maybe that would have probably freaked her out a bit to, try to have this perfect freestyle. So I think Val was just kind of like, you know what, let's just have fun and enjoy the experience. So out of the 5 routines, it would probably be like my third or fourth. I go back and forth between her and Ariana in terms of my favorite routines, but she had a great season and was a deserving winner.
What did you think about her freestyle, Jeffrey?
Well, I think both of you made some valid points. I mean, I thought, the whole performance, I thought it was pretty incredible. It left me feeling speechless. I mean, I just loved how mesmerizing the whole thing was. And again, not surprising that they ended up winning, because we all, and I guess even them, saw it coming. But hey, I still thought they were pretty deserving of the prize in what was a pretty competitive season. So yeah, I'm not complaining about it.
Yeah, and in the end, I think the standings were almost perfect. Like I personally would have flipped Charity and Ariana. I would have put Charity in third and Ariana in fourth. But everyone was where I thought they belonged in terms of Sochi winning the Mirrorball Trophy, Jason second, Ariana and Charity like in that third and fourth position, and then Allison in fifth. So it felt like, and we don't always get that kind of good results. Like sometimes the best dancer ends up third, Normani. So, so like you don't always get that moment where the dancer who has really excelled throughout the season and showed progress, like some of those later dances are among her best.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it was great to see her win, and one of the youngest winners as well. I don't know exactly where in 17 years old she is compared to Bindi Irwin, who was 17, and Sean Johnson, I believe, was 17 when she won. Not the youngest, that would still be Lori Hernandez, who won with Val also when she was 16. So like he has a way with teaching younger stars. Although he also lucked out, they happen to be very naturally gifted performers. So where do you think of Sochi in terms of Dancing with the Stars history, Cordell?
Yeah, I think she's probably one of my favorite winners. She'll definitely place in like my top half if I were to do rankings. Um, I think to your guys' point about it, an amazing job at really just honing in on her skills, giving her the opportunity to grow, but not putting too much pressure on her. I think also kudos to the production team and the casting team. I think as we talked offline, that this season definitely reminded me of Dancing with the Stars at its peak. Just in terms of just capturing that essence of the dances and letting the pros really choreograph amazing routines and getting the chance to really organically, see the contestants' stories and connect with them as opposed to all the production, meddling that has happened in past seasons recently. So it was great just to get back to the basics. So to the producers and casting, if you guys are watching this, keep doing what you're doing for next season.
Agreed.
Yeah. What did you think of Sochi's win and her place in history and how the season was handled as a whole, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, I thought the season as a whole was handled pretty well, and I do agree. Well, again, echoing what I just said, yeah, I agree that the producers should really just keep doing what they're doing for next season. And as for Xochitl, yeah, I agree. She's definitely one of the best winners we've had in the competition, especially in recent years. And I don't know where I'd rank her among all the winners, but she's at least in the top tier winners. So yeah, I really liked Zoji as a winner, and I really enjoyed the season as a whole overall.
I also really loved this season, and I loved how like they got a cast that really got along with each other. It seemed, and like everybody rooting each other on. And you usually have that, but it's not like there's not like Real Housewives flipping tables on the show. Even when they have Real Housewives on the show, they're not they behave. Um,
Yeah.
but the camaraderie was so warm and so lovely to see. Even when it's someone we spend a lot of time dissing, Harry Jowsey, like him crying over how far Allison Hannigan came, like that. I was like, okay, all is forgiven, Harry. You and I are on the same page. We're proud of her too. Um, so it's just like a warm feeling that I had, and that's what Dancing with the Stars is at its best. It's kind of it's popcorn entertainment and it's feel good entertainment, and and this season really kind of brought that out in a good way. One thing I want the judges or the producers to do differently next year is bring back the bottom two.
Yes. Well, the real bottom two.
The real bottom two. Play fair, play honest with the audience. Instead of doing this weird, someone is in jeopardy. Like, no. Just like either say outright, just like, okay, you're eliminated, and not go through the whole you're safe, and now you're safe, and now you're safe, and now just play it straight. Don't none of as the beloved Len Goodman would say, none of the messing about. Just just give it to us clearly. I'm very very passionate about transparency in Dancing with the Stars voting. What do you think, Cordell?
I think they wanted to keep us on our toes. They probably know, with Gold Derby that we have our prediction center. And they're like, no, we're going to make it a little challenging for you guys this season. So, because in the past, I mean, we had a great idea as to who was probably going to be in the finals and pretty much who was going to be the winners, the last couple of seasons when they did do the actual bottom two. So, at least in that sense, it kept us kind of on our toes as to who's really actually pulling in the votes. Right until the finale. So
what do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, I definitely see Cordell's point here. But yeah, although, if Although if they were to be honest with who is really in the bottom two, then the one who wasn't eliminated, well, hopefully that would encourage their fans to vote for them more if they really want them to continue. But yeah, I guess that would also apply to the fake bottom two and the one who really wasn't in jeopardy at all. Well, people wondering if they were pulling the votes, then yeah, I can definitely see it applying to them as well.
So that's just, my one my one pet peeve. Like, I want to be able to predict the finals too. Although in the end, we were right. Like, we predicted Sochi was going to win, and she was at the top of our odds for like the last 5 or 6 or 7 weeks straight. Like, it started with Charity, just assuming, okay, she's the Bachelorette, she's the front runner. And then as the weeks went on, it's like Jason rose, and then Sochi rose, and then she didn't look back.
Yeah.
So you didn't get us, Dancing with the Stars producers. We still figured it out. And with that, and with another really, really good season, really strong season in the books, I would like to thank Jeffrey and Cordell, not just for joining me tonight, but throughout the season to discuss Dancing with the Stars. And thanks to everyone for reading Gold Derby's coverage and watching us here and predicting in our prediction center. It's been a pleasure all season long. Thank you very much, and we will see you, I think, probably next year.
Okay.